Paper cut, and today, thanks for joining us today, and thanks to Inky Stamper for the shout out. Our warehouse sale is Saturday, September 19th this year, if you want to save the date. Anyways, today we are going to be working on showing you our stair step cards and their dies. So we have all our stair step cards pre-cut, but we also have the dies for each one so you can cut your own, because sometimes you just want to make something that's a little bit special, a buttload of paper, and you just want to use your own paper. Do you hear me?
Quit.
What?
Oh wait, I got it.
Okay.
Sorry.
Anyways, little technical difficulties right there. And so anyways, we're showing you our stair step cards, and we're just gonna jump right in. So we have our inner and outer stair step cards, which are just out of an A2 scored card, and then we have our center step cards, which I'm going to show you. Those are a little bit different. So we're just going to start right away. So our two inner and outer stair step card making dies, they both have points right here, and this point lines up with a score. So you want to use an A2 scored card. We sell cards pre-scored, but I'm sure all of you have like score pals. I'm probably the only one that doesn't. So you can use your score pal, chop a piece of paper in half, and then score it at 4 1/4 to get your A2 scored card. Anyways, the points line up at your scored card. We are going to start with our outer one, so that means that there's a slit going right up the center of the card, not exactly in the middle. So you need to make sure your points are going to line up with your score, but you need to make sure that this cut rule is in the center of your card. You don't want to have your cut rule off to the edge, otherwise you're just going to get your scores and you're not going to get a cut. So we're going to flip it over. We have our cut rule in the center. We're going to line up our points at our score. We're just going to scoot it off the edge of the paper just a tiny bit, hold it in place with a piece of removable tape. Then we're going to run it through our machine. Now, I am fairly technology challenged, so I can't see your comments, but I will address those later on after I have a chance to look at everything. So anyways, so we have our card. It's got our slit down the middle. Our scores are on there. They're not as deep, so you'll notice that when we have a machine one, like our pre-done ones, the scores are very deeper. That's just because we're using a big machine. This is the nature of the beast with the little dies and the scores on there. Anyways, to fold, I like to fold it in half. That's the only time you fold it all the way across in this card. Then the step part, I'm going to pull down. So we have our mountain fold right here. We're going to pull it down so it's opposite. So we have our mountain and our valley. That kind of bends our back score into a mountain. So now we have a mountain valley, and it is just a mountain valley fold. So we have our mountain, we have our valley, and then we go to our next mountain, our next valley, and our next mountain to bring you to the front of the card. Then you're just going to squish it flat. You would use a bone folder to make that nice and flat. But anyways, that's the outer stair step card. Then I'm going to go to the inner, which the inner is exactly the same, and I've already placed this one in place. So you have two cut rules. You can off-center it. So if you have a stamp that's bigger on one side and you want it smaller on the other, you can off-center it. So again, we're just going to run that through. Take our die off. And again, I'm just going to show you the same fold, but I'm going to show you again. So fold it in half. That's our mountain fold. Then the same score that's in the center pulls opposite. So we have our mountain and our valley. That will kind of bend the fold in the back to a mountain. So we have our mountain, our valley. Then we go to our next one, which is a mountain. Then we go to the next one, which is a valley. And then the front one is a mountain. Now, if you don't want to do it that way, you can start in the front or the back and just start with a mountain, valley, mountain, valley, mountain. That's easy enough too. Start in the front or the back, do mountain, valley, mountain, valley, mountain. Again, take a bone folder when you're at home and fold it nice and flat to get your card. Now you can see with mine too that I did just recently, they're kind of popping open, and they tend to do that until they've been folded a lot. This one's been folded a lot, so it stands up a little taller. Now we're going to move on to our center step cards. So instead of having like 3 steps, these just have one big step in the front, and we have our horizontal and our vertical. Again, we sell them pre-cut, and like I said, that's what I find easiest. But we also have our die, because maybe you want to do one in a different color. With these, you don't start with a scored card. You just start with a flat piece of paper. I did take an 8.5 by 11, chopped it in half, so I have 5.5 by 8.5. And then the directions on these 2 dies are the same. They say to measure up 15/16. Well, I don't like to measure every time, so I made myself a little template, and it's cut at 15/16. And if I don't lose it, then I always have it. If you saw my stamp room, I might lose it. But keep it somewhere safe, like usually with the die is a good place. Hold your die in place with some removable tape. And again, you're going to run that through your machine. Take our die off. Now this one folds a little bit different. So we have our 2 slits, and we have 3 scores. 2 scores up here, 1 in the center, and then we have 2 more scores down on the bottom. So all 3 of these top ones are mountain folds. The one thing, and the biggest mistake people make with this card and the next one, is they want to just fold it in half. So what you don't want to do ever on this card is you never want to use your hand and just fold it all the way in half. So you never want to do that. You're always going to keep your fingers on the outside or the inside. I start on the outside, fold my 2 mountains, then walk my fingers to the inside, fold that one as a mountain. And you can tell it's about 1 inch down, okay? And then down on the bottom, it's just a simple mountain valley. So it's a mountain in front, a valley behind it. So on the side, you actually have your mountain, valley, mountain. You never want to have 2 mountains. You don't want a mountain range, you just want a mountain with a valley. So we go to our other side. The front one is a mountain, the bottom one is a valley. So again, mountain, valley, mountain. So we have our 3 mountains and then our mountain, valley, mountain. So again, we're just going to fold that nice and flat to get our horizontal step card. Then with our vertical step card, again, same directions for this one, but instead of cutting our paper to 5.5 by 8.5, we cut it to 4.25 by 11. So we just take the paper the long way, chop it in half. Again, we're using the exact same template because we didn't lose it. We're going to set that down with our template. It makes it very convenient having a little template. Then you make sure it's nice and straight. So we're going to run it through. If any of you are looking at my machine wondering, how is that plate staying so flat? My son works with sheet metal and he made it for me. So you can hit me up if you want one, because I have connections. So anyways, this one's the same. We have our slits on both sides, our 3 scores up at the top. Only work with your fingers to the outside, so the outside mountain folds. Walk them to the inside, and then you have your 3rd mountain fold. Down on the bottom, it's a simple mountain valley. Simple mountain valley. Okay, so that is our vertical center step card. So just one thing I'm going to point out, when you're doing our regular step cards, see how my little butterfly is flying back here? That's connected on with a piece of acetate. So I just connected a piece of acetate onto our last step. The other thing that's important with these is make sure whatever you're attaching to your steps does not run up higher than the top of the card. Unless you're going to put it in a bigger size envelope. This fits in an A2 envelope. Just don't have it going, up higher or off to the side, because then you can just find a bigger envelope to put it in. So those are our step cards. We're going to move on to our Funky Fold Accordion, which we also have a die for. Now this Funky Fold Accordion is 12 3/4 inches long. Most of you don't have paper that's that long. So we kind of redid the die a little bit so it fits on a 12-inch piece of paper. So our pre-scored or it's actually 12 and 3/4 inch. This is a 12 inch right here. So anyways, this one has your directions at 1 7/8. Again, I made a little template and I attached it on, and I'm going to run it through. So this is 8.5, so it will fit through any of your standard machines. Just make sure it's all the way on your plate. Okay, so I'm going to pop that off. Now we've got our slit going down the middle. There's 4 scores on this side and then 2 scores in the middle. And again, our ones that are machine scored, you can tell the scores are much deeper on there. They're easier to fold, but these do work fine. So start at one end or the other. If you have a scene on it that needs to point upward, like you have trees or something, then you need to start with it, facing straight up, and you're going to start with mountain folds on your end. And this is a mountain valley, but only have your fingers going down the outsides or the middle. Never fold all the way across. So we have our mountain, and then we have our valley. And we're not folding flat as we do it. We're just kind of easing those scores. Then we walk our fingers to the next ones. Those are mountains. And then the last one is a valley. Okay, so again, we didn't fold it flat yet. We can see this middle part is just kind of flapping in the wind there. So now our 2 scores on here, they are opposite right here, and it's an opposite fold. So if this is a valley, then this one is a mountain. And if this one's a mountain, then this one's a valley. And then we're just going to fold that nice and flat. Oops, and I was off where I folded it because I couldn't see it that well. So then we have our Funky Fold Accordion. So to make this card where I have the whole background stamped on there, I did take the card and I stamped it before I folded it. So for stamping, I like to, and I'm using a stamp from Impression Obsession and their big mega mount. If you've taken any of my classes, you have used these. Some people are friends of the mega mount, some people are not, but once you get used to them, they're great. So I'm a go for it kind of gal. I like to stamp though in each section. And I do use a lot of post-it notes when I'm stamping. So I could put a post-it note there, but I'm just kind of a go for it kind of gal, so I'm just gonna rock it forward and roll it up, and I have my one section stamped. And then I am just going to do my next section. Now for my middle section, this is when I'm going to take my post-it notes and I'm going to mask these off. Now if you're doing something with a pattern that you want it to connect, and if you're really like everything to be perfect, I say either get over the being perfect or don't do something with a pattern, because it's nearly impossible to get those to match up. So, but I'm not really, I just kind of go for it. You'll see with this one, it doesn't matter that it's a little bit off. Rock it forward, roll it up. And you can see I have a tiny bit of imperfection there, but otherwise nobody's going to notice that. You give somebody a handmade card, and if they say your pattern doesn't match up, they're off the list. So again, for folding, I wanted to do this one too to add some flowers. Now this kit, this funny kit that we have right here, is one of our almost done card kits. That's kind of a new section on our website, where you get 2 or 3 cards usually. They're $10. Everything in there is pre-stamped. So there might be some things that you need to do, like in this particular kit, this stamping is done for you because you have the whole background stamped. You do need to color the bunnies, so you get those pre-stamped, but you do need to color them. You get everything in there die cut, so you're going to assemble it. In this particular kit, you don't get the bling. That's one thing you usually don't get, is the bling. You just add your own bling. So it's called Almost Done Card Kits. It's a section on our website that is under die cuts and kits, and then under card kits it's called Almost Done Card Kits. Or just search Almost Done and a whole bunch of them will pop up. So then we have our card. Now I'm just going to go through the folding one more time, just because this one's a little bit harder. So start at one end, it's a mountain fold. Then walk your fingers down, valley, mountain, valley. So we have that, and this is flopping in the wind. We have our valley here, so we're going to make that a mountain. We have our mountain here, so we're going to make that a valley. Then we're just going to fold that all nice and flat. And we have our Funky Fold Accordion. Now, I forgot to mention this. Usually when I attach things over the top of the score, you can either attach them on first, or I just attach them right over the score. So like these will go on here, and they'll just kind of bend over the score. I did use a 65-pound cardstock rather than a 100-pound. If you're using something really heavy, then you might want to snip it at the score and reattach it on. So now, I had mentioned that I was going to tell you about a class that I have coming up. So this is our magic card class. We're teaching this online, and I'm going to show you all of these. This will be April 24th and 25th. You can watch it either day. You can watch it both days. Once you order the kit, you'll get an invitation for a Facebook event, and then you'll join that event, and then I'll teach the class. So anyways, these are our magic cards. So there's one. This is using our Miri Sparkle and our Miri Lava papers. This one is a white one, but I've used blending brushes, so in the class you are gonna, the stamping will be done, but you'll do the blending brushes, or blend your background however you want. This one, the image will not be colored. This is the only one that you'll have to color the cake. This is one of our dies with the happy birthday and the wishes. And another oval one with an overlay that is stamped, and it comes that way. You get the chickens, you get the Miri Lava paper for the top and the strip. And then this one. So there's 5 magic cards. Those are on our website under classes. You order the kit is $20, and then we'll have some fun on the 24th and 25th. So thank you for joining me today, and I will look at comments when I get off of here and answer whatever you need to have answered.
Someone requested close-ups, so I'm going to give close-ups.
Okay, here's some close-ups because somebody wanted close-ups. But thanks for joining me today. It's been fun. Some of these may be warehouse sale class cards. We'll see. Also hoping to do, if we're allowed to social gather, I'm hoping to do a Christmas in July class. Otherwise, I will look forward to social gathering with you at our warehouse sale in September. So thanks much. Have a great day.